We should be good to go. I think we are live. So if y'all can hear me, just let me know. I just want to just do a quick sound check real quick because in the past we've had issues with that where I'm talking for 3 minutes and nobody can hear me. So
did we post the link in the chat?
I did post it. Yeah, I did post it. So there's plenty of people sitting here waiting.
I'm going to jump in on my side.
Yeah, just be careful of the reverb on that.
All
right, so loud and clear. All right, so we're good. So welcome, guys. If you are new to this channel, this is Own the Chaos, where I talk primarily about over-the-counter penny stocks. That's how I make a living. But I have a little project, a little side business. It's also WeTrade HQ. It's at WeTradeHQ.com. If you're not part of that, I highly encourage you to check the links down in the description. It is a free group to join. We have almost 3,400 members from around the globe learning and growing and celebrating each other's success. And part of that platform is building a great group of mentors around that. And so we have people that trade over-the-counter stocks just like me. We have Kiko within our group who also goes live with folks at night. We have African Emporium, The Profit Room, Cameron of Young Money Investments. And now we have Don, who will be our latest mentor. And he is with WeTrade HQ. So the theme of it, my vision with WeTrade HQ was no matter what you're trading in the market, WeTrade HQ is the place for you. And now Don is just one other piece of that. Couldn't be happier to have him aboard. So Don, welcome.
Well, I guess welcome. Thank you.
So I guess talk to us a little bit about what it is that you do, how you find success in your style of trading and all that good stuff. So just start there, and then we can kind of just roll with it.
Well, let's give Arm Trader a shout out for the little quick super chat.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So who am I and how? Say that again. How I got started, or just how?
Yeah, well, just what style of trading is it that you do? I put in the title that trading zones. You don't like to use indicators and that sort of thing. So like you're primarily trading ETFs, futures, and you dabble a little bit in the forex too, right?
Actually, it's mostly forex.
Okay.
Forex was like kind of the income, and Forex moves so fast. I mean, it really makes ETFs look like turtles racing. That's just what I tell everybody. So, and I knew the transition there was, I just knew gold. I knew the US dollar. And so it was just an easy play because I already knew the information. So I just got into ETFs. And then I've been in a few chats, bounced around. You guys know the last chat I just left before making my own or coming over here. I started helping people out, and it blew up. And mostly those guys, they weren't in Forex. So that was the slow transition just into I'd say it's pretty close to 50-50 now as far as ETFs and Forex. Because I'm helping them, I'm in the charts more, so I just take the trades more often. Forex is still kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's just how I just kind of grew to where I was at now. Just helping one person. If you asked anybody in the beginning, I just told people I just like to help out, and that's just what I was here for. Every person I helped was, one less car broken down on the road. They could afford tires. It was just that nice little help, and I didn't expect it to get as big as it was. But people started seeing value in it, and just one thing led to another, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about, right? I mean, I've talked about this with our other mentors too, about like how people come to you and say, thanks so much for teaching me, how to be successful in this crazy market, because of your help, you've allowed me to do this, and that. And so it sounds like you're kind of in that same boat. And for me, and I don't know about you, but for me, that's kind of what gets me up in the morning and keeps me going. And so I'm sure you probably have that same type of sentiment.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. And there's not a better success story when someone tells me like, because of this, I'm rocking it now.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few now. Just no other way to say it. It's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I couldn't be happier that you're with us just because of that type of vision. And, so me and my partner Jake, if you guys aren't familiar with who Jake is, he actually built WeTradeHQ.com. He did it all by himself with his basically bare hands and a mouse. He built WeTrade HQ. Running joke is that he builds the castle and then I kind of bring people to it. But one of the things that like we look for, Jake and I, is for our mentors to have the same type of vision as us, and that we want to truly make a difference in people's lives. And part of that is in order to keep the platform running is really to just kind of have this mentorship thing going. I would say even 95% of what we provide for you on WeTrade HQ is absolutely free. We have a lot of tools and resources that you can use to learn and grow. But if you feel like you need that extra step, these mentorships and these paid services are going to be there for you when you need them. And there's no obligation to do it at all. If you just want to take advantage of all the free stuff, you can. But bringing Don on was just like it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, he reached out to me, and Don, just kind of like explain to the group a little bit how like you reached out to me and why you saw value in WeTrade HQ.
I just knew it was kind of like a main platform, and so everyone, at least most of my following, they know I'm a real estate agent as well.
Yeah. And
then just helping out and real estate picking back up, they just started to clash. And I think I'm more passionate about this and helping others out, that I just wanted to pursue the mentor side of it. It was a question I got every day, if I was going to, if I could, and I pushed it off, and then just needing that transition to where, if I cut back on real estate, I'm going to need something to make up for it. And that was just kind of like the perfect fit. So I was looking for that. And I didn't really want to build my own platform. Didn't really have the time for that.
Right.
Yeah. And I knew what you guys were doing. And so I just thought it'd be an easy transition.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of the benefit side for people such as yourself who are looking to provide that service, is that like we kind of do all the legwork for you. And so like if anybody's out there looking to actually do what Don is doing, feel free to reach out to us, because it does provide that convenience. You didn't have to do any work really to set it all up. You could just say, hey, I'm looking to do this. Can you help me? And we had it all there for you and ready to go. So thanks, Don. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you see value in our platform, and I'm certainly excited to see where it goes. I mean, the amount of people that followed you over to WeTrade HQ already has been awesome. And it's really something that we've kind of been missing, really. Obviously it got started with the OTC and penny stock stuff because of me, but the whole vision of it was not just to be surrounded around one person and kind of like have WeTrade HQ, involve everybody and not just surrounded around, one individual. And I think that's what makes us unique as well.
Yeah. And huge shout out to everybody that did follow me over. I didn't really promote it. I wanted to be respectful. Everybody, it's no secret where I left. But yeah, it spread like a wildfire. And I put up that chat video, just the chat etiquette. That was almost like my day one. And just the comments and everybody coming in was crazy. Crazy for me. I didn't expect that kind of following. I always knew I helped everybody. I got a bunch of thank yous all day, but I was just curious how many would actually follow me. So I was pretty surprised. I like seeing that.
Yeah, I just got to make you feel good too. I remember, we left from the same place, and I remember the type of following that came with me as well. And it does make you feel good for sure. So thank you guys for providing. I mean, we wouldn't be here without you. The amount of support that you've been pouring in, not just for Don, but for everybody, has been absolutely amazing. And, I'm looking forward to what the future holds for us. I can't wait till we hit that kind of critical mass type of thing and people really know who we are. That day for me is going to be pretty special, just from an entrepreneur standpoint, because you guys don't know me. Yes, I trade every day in stock market, but it's always been my dream to just kind of like have and run a business and have like some sort of legacy to leave behind. And that's what all of our mentors are doing. They're looking to, leave that imprint on somebody's life so that even after we're gone, it's still there. And so that's what it is for me, personally. But I want to talk a little bit about, your life. I know you got kids. We heard them in the background during your live stream just previously. So talk a little bit about that. You said you're, in the real estate, but you have a wife and kids. You got mouths to feed too.
Yeah. I don't know where to begin, I guess.
So you got a wife and what, 2 daughters?
2 daughters, one on the way.
One on the way, right? So and she's due. He or she's due soon, right?
Yeah,
April.
yeah, all girls. Last one.
Oh my! I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we always planned three, and that was going to be it. And then really hoping this last one was going to be a boy,
Yeah.
but they'll have to fill
Are
it in.
you going to hold out for a boy, or are we thinking maybe kid number 4, or no? This is
No.
really it.
Yeah, the Army of Three is just going to be it. Um, yeah, and my thing with real estate, um, it's actually because I wanted to do real estate investing, but everything I do has to be 1,000%. There's really no in between with me. And so I wanted to get into real estate investing, but I wanted to know what it was like to be a real estate agent, what kind of advantages they would have. And because I really thought, like everybody else thought, if they were going to invest in real estate, having your own license, it would just be an advantage. So I did that just to learn that whole side of the world. And I wanted to know what makes the best real estate agent. So I really sought out for that. And which that naturally just led to the referrals and more to an actual business.
Mhm.
And I guess that just kind of carried over into stocks, but which I'm hoping that kind of transitions over and I can, I guess I have a team now. They can help me take care of things.
Right.
And man, I was really going somewhere with that. But yeah, no, I lost train of thought.
No, it's all good. No, well, and I think that probably plays into how you've been so successful though too, because you were on a customer service side of things, and I think for me too, like that's why I feel like that we're really kind of starting to get this success rolling, and it's starting to snowball, and it's kind of really exciting to see. But for me, I think it's like I'm all about building relationships, and so that's why I think these mentorships are so important, because yeah, I have a course that I sell for people who are learning to trade in, OTCs. It's just kind of like a fundamental thing. And I always tell everybody, full disclosure, you can find everything that is in the course on YouTube. It's just maybe you're willing to pay for a little bit of convenience to have it nice and neat and organized, and kind of like a course fashion. But I didn't want to stop there because I feel like when you sell a course, and that's it, you just kind of leave them there. And there's like that drop off where there's just no relationship building. And I kind of I feel like anybody who runs a business, each one of your customers, each one of your, patrons, should be a relationship. No matter how small or insignificant it may seem, you touch that person in some way. And I always like to reinforce that. And I think that's, again, what kind of sets us apart. And I think that's why you wanted to do, the mentorship as well. You were actually talking about doing a course, but reinforcing it with that mentorship thing, just like going in day in and day out within the trenches, I think is really kind of like what sets somebody up for the best possible success. Because for me, I had my own mentor, and that's really kind of how I feel like I was the only way I was able to feel successful was having that daily interaction with somebody. So, do you feel like touching on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm always big on, if you ever watched my YouTube channel, my streams have always been helping others out. I didn't want to be the guy that just talks about what I trade and just doing my recaps and that's it, because people can kind of learn from that. But so I am recording a course. I've just been busy, and I need to record more to it, but I'm just uploading it to the YouTube platform. So everyone can come watch that. That'll just be free. But I've always said this, there's knowing the pattern, there's knowing it, and then there's execution. Knowing is half the battle. As with anything else, there's a education behind it. But I can tell you all day what a bull flag is. I can tell you where to buy and sell the actual, or all the zones. You can copy every one of my zones. I could post charts for everyone. Our execution will be very different. And just it's that experience and everything that I wanted to share with everyone, which is what I'm hoping to show more on a personal level for the members.
Right. And so let's talk about that a little bit. So you go on YouTube a lot, and you do live streams a lot, and you were on live stream tonight for like an hour and a half, which is awesome. And you had people interacting every minute of that hour and a half. And I was kind of like, hey, you got somewhere to be for tonight, but on my channel, but it's all good. I had no problem with that. But if you don't mind just kind of like elaborating a little bit how that's going to differ within the mentorship, because there's probably people that are asking and saying, hey, well, I tune into you all the time and learn everything I can from you on YouTube. What's going to make this a little bit different? So I want you to touch on that for people who are watching.
So what I do in the streams is it's just a piece. Every night, that's how I plan all my trades at night for the next day. I go in and I do all my charting just like I was doing in the stream, and plan my next day. I set my alerts and everything. For the members, it'll be a Monday through Friday and all about them. And we're going to spend a little less small talk, a little bit more business, and really plan for the next day. And just really, really hit it that way. And I've mentioned it a few times in the chat earlier. There's just that totem pole, the pecking order. It'll go members and then YouTube. The chat, obviously, just like with anything else. What I wanted to do was just make it a community just inside that, even just for the members.
Right.
I touched on it with like my chat etiquette. I think the members chat will be a huge part of it. Having, they'll have me there. I'm going to break down everything with them, and just not just doing the breakdowns, but in the next day, calling it out. Not to copy, but hey, this is in the zone. I really want to be more about the members than myself, because I don't want to teach everybody to be a really good copier. I just want everybody to be good at it themselves. So it'll just be more interactive, and this is here. What's going to do? I even have homework planned out, not mandatory. But,
yeah. That's interesting. That'll be new. I never gave anybody any homework. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, since it's price action and charts, something like a PDF they can download and physically take a Sharpie, a pencil, do the analysis, and then I'll do the breakdown and show them why. And then they can really kind of see where it's at and see who was on point and why they thought what they saw was good and why I think something else might be better in a different way.
Yeah.
So just to really help everybody out. My goal is to make everyone that leaves should be the same as me. There should be no reason why we can't look at the same chart and chart the exact same thing out and have the exact same execution.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what I try to get at with people too. It's like, what I do isn't I'm not the only person that can do what it is that I do. And so the goal is to get you to the point to be as consistent with like your wins and your gains and stuff like that as I am every day. And then, I'm not trying to like keep you here forever. The goal is just to get to a certain point to where you feel like you're comfortable doing it on your own. And then that way you can do it on your own and become successful and do with it whatever your goals are. For me, it was I wanted the freedom to kind of do whatever I want. For you, it sounds like that you kind of basically wanted that freedom too. You got girls that, are going to be growing up, and, now that you're trading, it's going to lend you some more freedoms to be able to like show up to, whatever events they have going on, school and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Dealing with them screaming in the background, whatever you got to deal with. But, it's just, yeah, I think that, a lot of what makes us different, people like you and me, is that we're just regular everyday guys. And girls with Latoya over there in the profit room, who they crush it every day too. But we're just normal people. And when you see the other folks that you probably saw before you clicked on this video with whatever ad you saw, they probably feed you this unrealistic lifestyle. And really all we're doing is that we're just living our normal everyday lives. We're just able to have a lot more freedom while doing it. And so I think, Don, you probably could agree with me that we're not trying to sell you some millionaire type lifestyle. While that does happen, it's not something realistic that we're trying to like show you the way to being a millionaire. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yeah, of course. Because like what I tell people about my kids is hopefully they do learn to trade, because it can be a steady income. Not everyone loses, not everyone has to lose. And so by doing that, my kids can now, let's say they pick up from me, they learn what I taught them, they can go to college for whatever they want. And it won't matter, because their thought process won't be, I need to get a job that pays. It'll just be, I need to get a job that I really like doing, because I have the income side taken care of. And that's what I've always done. And that's kind of what I want. I don't want to say hand holding, but that's my goal. I've never failed at anything. Or maybe I have, but
what are you, just perfect?
It's rare. I make sure. Yeah, and like I tell everybody, it's only a loss when you quit. Everything else is just a pullback. So it takes a lot for me to actually not meet a goal. And so again, yeah, like my goal is just to have everybody on that same level.
So it's just like the determination, I guess, is what you're talking about. Like, just not giving up and keep persevering and keep pushing through. And I think that's what I try to promote within our group as well. My OTC group is that this isn't going to be some overnight thing that you're just going to pick up. It's going to take some work, but if you keep having that determination, just like the both of us have, you're going to be able to eventually get it. Now, is trading for everybody? No, it's not. But like if it's something that you can easily identify, patterns, and you got people surrounded around you that can set you up for the best possible success, we can definitely guarantee that we'll give you as much as we can to make sure that you are successful. I mean, some people are just meant to be doctors, and some people are just meant to be nurses. But for me and for people like me and you and people that are watching, maybe trading is for you. And so I think it's worth a shot to check out Don and see what he's all about. So tell me a little bit about your actual, as far as indicators are concerned. For me, all I care about is 2 indicators, which I know that you don't even use indicators. I just use Bollinger Bands and RSI. And really, for me, it's all about fundamentals, trying to find that. And so tell me a little bit about, how you trade using zones so that people kind of get an idea of like your style of trading and how you find success.
I'm just waiting for anybody in the chat to call out the
I was waiting for it too.
Did you watch that video?
I caught bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. I do make fun of indicators, but no, people can use them. I want to answer one quick question I saw here in the chat.
Sure.
Is that membership more suitable for day traders or swing traders?
Yeah, I saw that too.
So most of my trades are swing trades. Recently, with recent volatility, it's been super easy to day trade and just make a whole bunch. So I have taken advantage of that. But without that volatility, everyone knows natural gas just shot up and it made it easy. I'm trading my zones are found on the 4-hour, which is 2 candles in a day. So often I'm buying one day, selling the next day, and PDT or not, it really works out. For the longest time, I traded with 10,000 in the account, and that was it. I was able to make $1,000 a week was enough for me. It was I was consistently making 10% a week, and it wasn't like that wasn't a goal I had or anything like that. And I tell everybody, just focus on your one trade, focus on that trade, make sure it's the best trade you can take, and the profit, the winning trades, all that is a byproduct from you just doing the work on that one trade. And I just took every trade that way. And so yeah, just to answer that question, I buy in my zone, I sell in my zone. Sometimes intraday, a lot of times it's buy one day and I sell the next day. And so, sorry, run that by me again. What was your question?
Well, just like, as far as zones are concerned, like, is it, yeah, like how do you set up your zone and stuff like that? So like if somebody has no idea what you're talking about when I trade in my zone, what can they expect when you're talking about that? I see everybody busting on me about RSI too. It's fine, I can take it. But go ahead.
Yeah, the MACD.
Yeah. I didn't say anything about MACD.
No, it's something I did, and just to be clear, if they do stumble across that video, nothing's titled or in the thumbnail about trading because I don't want it to be anybody take it serious. It was a funny video called "Turn the Thumbs Down Upside Down" because I was saying people were making money on my chat or my YouTube streams, but I'm still getting a thumbs down. So maybe those people don't want to make money, and I'm going to show them how. And so I just went over a couple indicators they could use to really lose money, and all just sarcasm.
Yeah.
The zones is just kind of something I just gravitated towards, I guess. I've been trading for a long time, but it started out with like anybody else. It was, the E-Trade accounts where you're paying $10 a trade, which sucked, and my account wasn't that big, so I was just taking long swings, and it was really just like, this company is going to release something, so I would buy it because I think that's good. I think a new iPhone's coming out, which, now looking back, that move has already been made.
Right.
But that's the trade I was making, and it would be a few trades a year. And I used to work at a gym, Lifetime Fitness, and I would just check a couple trades every now and then. And some of the other guys were in there, and I saw they kind of made what I did, so I was like, I'm pretty sure I want to make more than they do. And that just got me trading a little bit more, and then that just kind of went more, and it just progressively, I started trading more and more and really getting into it. And I went into not supply and demand, support and resistance. That really resonated well with me, and because I could just see these bounces, I wanted to call them out, and I skipped the indicator phase. I think a lot of new traders use indicators. In my head, it was just it. You know, you always hear if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
The idea that I could just put some money in an account and wait for an indicator to tell me to say buy was absolutely crazy to me.
Right.
And so I didn't, you know, and I've said this before, when you're at a track meet, you don't look behind, you look for the finish line. 90% of people lose. I wasn't focused on the losers. I wanted to focus on the winners. I knew it was banks. So I jumped into how do they trade. So it was support and resistance. Then I got into some supply and demand, and it was just kind of a mix of that. And I started developing these zones. Support and resistance was never just one line. There's always two right next to each other. And it was always kind of iffy in the beginning, like they're going to bounce at this one or the next one. And so I kind of developed that strategy, and it worked well for me. And I even took other courses. I've taken quite a few courses just because it's something I'm passionate about, and I didn't mind. I took a very expensive course that I can say my strategy is still the same. But I now know why things move the way they move.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what led me into that. And so when people ask about how do I draw that zone, I think that's something you learn with experience and knowing. I just know the market. Mm-hmm. And so with that, and you kind of put it all together, you can find each individual zones, which have been very powerful. For me, I've been able to find a lot of success. And there's even a few people calling it out in here. Even just from watching my streams, they picked up on it. And I think it just comes with experience. Once it clicks, it's going to click, and it's easy. I guess I don't want to say it's easy to be successful, but it's easy to see how profitable it can be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that for like the way that you're explaining it, it's one of those things where once you start doing it, it's almost kind of like a repetition. You just keep doing it and do it, and eventually it's just going to click. That's kind of like how it happened for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and people brought up repetition. They ask me about that all the time. Does trading just get easy? And it's not that it gets easy. It's just that it gets repetitive. It's
right.
The same thing. So I know to buy in my zone. I know when to sell in my zone. So I do take losses. I mean, no one's 100%. I'm just 99.9%. You know. But
right.
when I randomly do take a loss, it's not big, and I double check to see why. Was it something I missed, or was it just your standard? It just went the other way, and that's that. My plan still held up. It played out, and then, you know, that's that. If it was something I could have done better, then I just make sure I focus that on the next one.
Right. So with that strategy, mm-hmm. just so like for people that are just starting out, maybe they have a smaller account, like how, and it works perfectly when you're swing trading, you know, for people with smaller accounts that fall under that PDT. But how much are you actually when you buy into something on average? Let's just say that you're taking a position. Like, you know, we've seen a lot of people where they'll take $30,000 position, and you know they'll come out with $2,000 in their hand, and it's kind of like sometimes that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for somebody who's just starting out. So like for me, I tell people, like, you know, with my style of trading, because of the volatility, you could take a small amount of money and really kind of build your account up from that because of the volatility, as long as you know what you're doing and, you know, following along with the same type of strategy that I follow along with. So for you, you know, and your trading style, like how are you able to help people that maybe do have smaller accounts based off of like how you trade?
I'm smaller account. It's a percentage game. That's right. Why I don't talk about dollar amount.
Right.
That's why I don't even show my main platform. That's why I use TradingView, because it's free, and everything I've shown everybody with FinViz or TradingView, if they have access to watch my YouTube video, they have access to all the same tools I have, and I can still be successful with that. But it really is a percentage game.
Yeah.
And so my position size can be bigger, but the percentage is all the same. The percentage is something we all share, and that's something I really focus on. I don't care if you made $3,000, because if you had a $300,000 position, that was crap. If you had a $3,000 position, that was probably a pump and dump. You know, it doesn't matter. It's percentage. If you made $1 off your $100 position, and I made, you know, $10 off my $1,000 position, we made the same trade. We had the same. If your account's smaller, then you're just building it.
Right.
Eventually, you're going to get to the size where, like for me, $10,000 was good because I was making 10% a week. So $1,000 a week to me was rocking.
Yeah.
My account's bigger than that now. That was before I had kids. Where was I going with that?
Talking about percentages.
Yeah.
Building a smaller account.
I really think it's crazy to just take a position off a dollar amount. And I promise, even if you're watching this, if you never sign up for my mentorship, watch my 1% stop loss the correct way. And everyone, if you're in the chat right now, tell me that video personally hasn't changed your whole way of trading. And I guarantee the chat should start moving. People are already talking about 1% stop loss video.
Yep.
So that's what I do is I see the pattern. It's at $10. So that will be my entry. I find the stop loss first. Where would I stop out? Where's the break of pattern? Where would I cut it? If it's at $9, I know I stand to lose $1 per share. And I take that amount. How many shares can I buy losing $1 per share? How many shares can I buy assuming I'm going to tag out instantly and still lose 1% of my account? So by doing that, it's just risk management. I focus on that first. So that is always my main focus, risk management. And then I base my position off that. So it changes. If you look at my zones, there's obviously a top and bottom. I'll see if I can get my hands in here.
I talk with my hands all the time, so it's all good.
So if this was my zone right here, type 1, it's coming in. You assume it's going to bounce. Type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 3 is like the confirmation. It's hit that zone you called out, and it's on its way out. So type 1, my stop loss is below the zone. That's where it's at. So type 1, I'll have a smaller position. Type 2, I can go hard because there's only so much more room it's going to go before it tags out. So that's where you can buy the most shares and still have that 1% stop loss. And that's where I really kill it, is because I like to take type 2 positions. I like to wait for that trade to be just right. I'll get in. So a lot of times I'm really risking like 2% because I'll take a type 1 and type 2 position. And I have a video called Never Lose a Trade because I'm in type 2. By the time it pushes up to that type 3 area where it's already headed out, my stop loss is already at break even or in the green. So if it pulls back right away and tags me out, I either made a little bit, but I didn't lose anything. And I get to reevaluate the trade, and it's something I still want to be in.
Right.
So I personally, I don't care what your account is. I guess I would say just trade. If you found value my way, just trade my way, and just don't pull any of that profits out. Just let it compound, let it grow, and eventually your percentage growth will be enough that you can actually just start taking those profits out on a consistent basis.
I mean, I love that so much, just because, I mean, that's all we're about. Like, I mean, as far as over-the-counter stocks go, but I mean, it's completely different. But if you use a stop loss trading OTCs, you would get stopped out every single time because of just how the manipulation is oftentimes. And yeah, you got to watch out for pump and dumps and stuff. But it's still the same game, it's still all about percentages. If I took somebody and they started off with like $500 or $1,000 and they were able to convert that into, a huge win and build on top of that. I always talk about, because of the volatility that involves, that's revolved around the OTC, it's always important at all costs to protect your initial investment. Like, that's just our trading strategy. So like, I'm looking for positions that it's going to double my money or more. So again, talking about that percentage game. And so once it does double, which most of the time it does, I will sell half of that. So then the rest of it's just free shares in there, and I'm playing with house money at that point, letting it ride up and see where it ends up, and I'll sell along the way into the run. But yeah, it's all about percentages for me as well. Sometimes people like to see the dollar amounts, but it's such as life on YouTube. Sometimes you just want people to click on your stuff. But really, for me, at the end of the day, it's all about that percentage gain. If I can tell somebody that I took $1,000 and turned it into $4,000 on one trade, like, that's what I think resonates with people, especially for a lot of people that are watching this live stream right now, because they're all in that same boat. If they're just starting out, the chances are they don't have a ton of money to start trading with, especially to risk their hard-earned money with.
Yeah. Yeah. I have people with accounts that are way beyond mine, and find value. And that's kind of one thing I like is, since mine has always been percentage growth. I haven't found, and I'm in ETFs, so volume's a little different. As in, you can't like, I can't just pump an ETF up. So no one can ever really accuse me of that. But yeah, it's just fair and equal. And if you get those bigger position size, you're not really focused on volume. And I don't know where I was going with that. Just a lot of people. I have helped people with every kind of account size. If they can physically afford the share, I had one person who could only afford to buy one Tesla share. And he's like, should I buy it? It's only one share. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's percentage growth. And I remember having that conversation with him, and his account is a lot higher now. Just getting your mindset off the dollar and just focus more on the trade and what the candles are telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Let's see here. See if anybody's got any other questions.
Do I ever use OCO brackets?
Yeah, I just saw that. So yeah.
Yeah. TradeStation does it a little differently, and Owanda for Forex, because you can chart trade. So every one of my trades, and I mean literally every one of them, has an entry, a stop loss, and a take profits. And I leave the take profit on there. That rarely ever hits. I leave it on there in case I'm not paying attention, or there's like a manipulation spike. It just tags me out real quick. Oftentimes it'll climb up to my like take profit area, and I remove the take profit and I move my stop loss up. So I lock in my profits that way, so I can just let the runners run. But yes, as far as it starts out, I don't know if Thinkorswim allows you to move the OCO brackets, as in start the OCO bracket. I don't know if you have to cancel the whole thing and then put your stop loss in differently, or just 'cause I'm not in that one.
With Robinhood, you mean?
No, Robinhood doesn't have OCO brackets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I tried Robinhood. I opened up an account one time and made one trade, and I said never again.
Yeah.
But
I have it for my challenge account, and people ask all the time because they don't have trailing stop losses, and I don't use trailing stop losses. I manually move my stop up every time because I'll wait for it to kind of form a new support, maybe intraday or something, and I move my stop up below that. I don't actually like trailing stops.
I mean, that makes the most sense to me. I mean, I think that you're going to maximize your profits if you move it up yourself versus a trailing stop. I think trailing stop's more for people who just don't want to think about it, and almost kind of set it on autopilot. I mean, it's been a long time since I used a stop loss, but I'm guessing that's probably like, the mindset behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So just one other thing that we need to address that I was asking about before you went live was, when is your mentorship actually starting, and can you purchase it now? So I'll go ahead and answer the second question. Well, is that yes, you can go ahead and purchase it now. I left the links in the description of this video for Don's mentorship, and I'll let Don tell you when it's going to start and what time he's going to go live with his mentors every day.
So it's going to be last week of February, which is the 25th.
Yeah. And
so I'm going to go at night, just like everybody else does. And this might change. It's Central Time, and my streams are at 7. And I've had a couple people request I do it at 8 o'clock, push it the extra hour because they're putting their kids to bed. And so I'm leaning to that right now. Now I have kids. My streams are at 7, so it wouldn't really affect my YouTube channel. To do it at 8. So I'm leaning towards that. I'm asking the new members to help me get the details ironed out on the time. If there's it's going to be night, after hours, just to plan the next day, where we have no distractions, no candles moving or just causing any distraction, get a solid plan. But for right now, I'm leaning towards the 8 Central, unless there's a big wave that says 7's better. This is really going to be about the members as much as it can be. I will do whatever I can to make it that way.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Monday through Friday.
So Monday through Friday, it'll be a nightly thing. We're going to start at 8 Central, so it'll be 9 Eastern for those of us on the East Coast. And it'll be tentative if you guys like it. If you guys don't like it, Don's pretty open and flexible to being able to change it if everybody isn't comfortable with that time or whatever. So I love this chat, man. I can't wait for you to get started and for you to really start changing lives within WeTrade HQ. I can't thank you enough on behalf of WeTrade HQ for coming to us and seeing the value that we have. And kind of like what we have going on here as far as just how unique this atmosphere is and the culture that we built. It sounds like some of the people you brought over have the same type of culture and atmosphere we do, but there's a little different flair, which I absolutely love. I love all the different types of trading styles and personalities that we have, and I think that's what's really going to truly make us great, along with all the other tools and resources that we have that we offer for you. So any last minute questions for you? I don't see.
Well, I guess it's something I haven't asked you yet. Do you?
Oh, sure.
Is this normal? The military discount, military first time responders.
There is. So we haven't had it set up just yet, for a code or anything like that, because we're trying to figure out like verification purposes. But there is a contact link at WeTradeHQ.com. So, and I also have my own business email that is in the link down below for people. It's first responders and military as well. So, you feel free to click on that link below in my YouTube channel right now on this video. Or if you are at WeTrade HQ, go to contact, and we basically just ask you for a photo of like your ID card, and we just kind of honor that. That's how we've worked it out so far. We're trying to figure out how to do that. If you guys are new to this, we've only really kind of been in business. WeTrade HQ has only been live for about 7 or 8 months, so there's a learning curve with all of this stuff. So as soon as we get that figured out to kind of make it a little bit more streamlined and easier and more convenient for you guys, we will. For now, that's just kind of how we've been verifying it so far.
And then,
how many subs have you gotten from the stream? Probably a lot. I've probably gotten a lot. So thanks for that, Don. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I think you still have more subs than me, though.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You still get more views than me, so.
That is one thing. Again, I just want to shout out everybody that is following me. You guys are very loyal, and yeah, it's really awesome. That's what really drove me to do this, was because I'm technically sitting in a room talking to myself. And it's just you guys here. It's really kind of changed things for me, seeing you guys just follow me and how I've been able to help out. Just a huge shout out to everybody. I know you guys say you guys all compliment me all the time, so I just want to compliment all you guys following me. You've been nothing but a great audience. I mean, I don't think I've had really any haters. There's really nothing to even hate on me about. There's people that don't agree, and that's that. It's been so quick that it's just been a great group.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to piggyback on that, because I don't really get haters either. And you would think that I would, considering that I trade penny stocks all the time. I don't get accused of pumping and dumping anything. I don't get accused of any of that stuff. But I think it's because I'm probably the worst pumper ever, because I tell everybody to sell. If you're a true pumper, you're not telling people to sell whenever they gotta sell. Or, just because I'm in it doesn't mean that you have to be, and all that good stuff. So, but like, I have to, like I said, piggyback and thank you guys so much for being so supportive. I know there's a lot of, Own the Chaos members mixed in with Don members, and it seems like everybody's getting along awesome, which is good to see too. No drama, so that's good. But I think that just speaks to the type of culture that you, Don, have built, and also the culture that WeTrade HQ has built. And I think just the way that it's going to kind of like merge itself together is going to be awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here and supporting us and supporting Don, and give it up to him. You guys are really the reason he's here, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for this to go on. So again, guys, if you are interested,
one last question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The answer is probably yes. I can make it happen. Could there be any sort of student discount?
Student discount.
Have that, or?
We don't have that. I'm sure we probably could work on it. Jake is watching right now. I'm sure he can say yes. We'll figure out what that looks like at a later time. Right now, as it stands, we don't. But
okay.
I know we can make that happen. We'll figure that out. Cool. So yeah, thanks guys so much for tuning in. If you're interested in checking out Don's mentorship, or if you want to also subscribe to his YouTube channel, I also have that link down in the description below as well. And that is it for me, guys. Do you got anything else, Don?
I think that's it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Give it a thumbs up and give it up for Don. And as always, I'll see y'all before the bell. B. Smith is out. Take it easy, folks.
Have a good one.